Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper Juan. It's a Saturday morning. It's spring is right around the corner, but today is extremely chilly. I think our high is going to be 41 degrees, but then tomorrow will be nicer. So just got to get through today and tonight, and temperatures will be much enjoyable to be outside. Last few days putting some beds together. This is that material I bought many years ago. I bought some for a project, and then he had a bunch of leftover scrap that he actually gave me. He was going to sell it, and I told him I wasn't interested in it, and he said, okay, just get it out of here. So we have made 7 of these beds, and we made 3 earlier with the strawberries a couple years ago. So far we've gotten 10 of these awesome 3-foot by 6-foot beds made out of the decking boards, the synthetic decking boards. So they'll never rot. So good to get that one done, and this one has been filled up. So we used our chicken manure, we used our rabbit manure, we used some good composted dirt, and then I added some of the topsoil from Lowe's. Probably added 10 of the bags of topsoil, just because I have to let all my other composted material fill up all these other beds, and they're not in the right place. They're going to be moved over here, and then I got to take all those vines down because the vines are pretty, but it is not food, and right now priority number 1 is food. So we'll have 5 of these beds on this right next to the driveway. That's the driveway, so it'll be 5 beds right there. That one's going to be rhubarb. This one is going to be walking onions. They're already planted on the back side of that, walking onions, and then garlic, and then I'll have a tomato bed right there. Probably pepper bed, green peppers, and then maybe a strawberry bed. So that will finish out these, and then I have 2 more beds that I'll be putting over by my existing 3 for strawberries. So working on projects. I hope you're working on projects. It is springtime right around the corner for a lot of us. So start thinking about a garden. If you say, I don't have any space for a garden, I don't have time for a garden, that's fine. I want you to plant 2 tomatoes, 2 peppers, and 2 of something else. Just a few plants. That way you'll start to learn. And to be realistic, the way this inflation's going, the way the world is turning upside down, yeah, I would love for you to make a bigger garden spot this year if you've got the time. Now, if you don't have the time, don't do it because you're not going to maintain it. It's better to maintain something 100% the right way. You'll get more yield than having a big garden. You can't weed it. You can't take care of it. But it's time to get serious. Food production is important. Food costs are rising. Fertilizer is exploding. Even on my level, fertilizer is just going up. So luckily, I do a lot of composting of my chicken manure and my rabbit manure, but I have put some fertilizer back. I did a video on that. Fertilizer, a lot of it comes from overseas, and it's not available, or the cost is larger. As Russia and Ukraine battle it out, a lot of questions. Is Russia just getting their butts whooped? Is it their slow plan? I think some of it's we're Americans and we're very impatient. We want everything quick. And when you invade a country that fights back, it's not going to be quick. They have to, fight for every inch, and the Ukrainians are making them pay for every inch. So as we go on, we're having more restrictions on Russia, and basically we're pushing them out of the financial world. And what's going to happen is they're going to create their own financial world with China, with other countries, and they're actually going to be stronger in the long run if they can get away from our fiat dollar bill. Russia has huge amounts of natural resources, probably more than any other country in the world, and they're very diverse in their natural resources. So let's picture a country where the dollar bill, where the German pound, or where the British pound, where the euro, where the Japanese yen all collapse. It's worth nothing. Who is going to be actually better off? It'll be Russia because of their natural resources, real products. So we're pushing them into that corner, but I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot, because if we push too hard and a bunch of countries go along with them and get off our petrodollar, it's going to make our dollar worth less and less. If the dollar collapses and it's not needed for purchasing oil in the world, then we're in some serious trouble. So hopefully you are totally planning on getting your house in order. Now is the time to get more self-sufficient. If you're in the urban environment and suburban environment and you say, I can't do it, yes, I understand you can't do it, but you're still going to feel the pain of not doing it. There's no really good answer for me to say, just move. I've been saying it forever, to move to the country. Move to a piece of ground. Move to a piece, half an acre in the country that has good ground. It is better than a $500,000 house in the city or in the suburban. I'd rather live in a shack in the country that I own free and clear. So, am I giving you financial advice? No, I'm not a financial expert, but I'm giving you some advice that if you have a gut feeling in your gut or an uneasiness, follow that. The whole thing is, when you lay your head down, do you feel more comfortable? So make decisions that will affect your life, so when you put your head on the pillow, you're not worrying about, that mortgage, that mortgage, that mortgage. If you got a big mortgage, try to get out of it. You probably still have some time if you got a little equity in it. But you're going to have to judge how to do your financial house. And if it's an uncomfortable feeling, then follow that. Get to where you feel comfortable. Yes, you're going to be uncomfortable in the sense where I'd rather live in a heavy-duty tent on a half acre than have a mortgage. Your wife might be saying, no, we ain't living in a tent. But you know what? As she sees things go along, or it could be she wants to move and you're saying, no, I like my big house. As natural resources become more expensive to heat that, propane is going up here, natural gas, electricity, everything's going to go up to a point where your big old 4,000 square foot house or 3,000 square foot house, you're going to have to heat and cool it. It's going to cost you a lot more money. Trust me, the government's going to raise your taxes. They're going to do whatever they can to keep their money coming in. So, are you doing anything? I'm here to motivate you, not to scare you. If you're not motivated at all to do anything and your life is like really good and you think it's good, there's nothing I can do for you. Russia has threatened us many times, and rightfully so. We're decimating their country under the form of economic warfare. I read this morning that they're going to consider arms shipments into Ukraine as like an act of war. If you, as a country, support the Ukrainians with arms, you're actually harming Russia, and we're not going to appreciate that. And they could take some actions against things. So things could escalate. And I don't have all the answers, but I know you need to get into a place where you're lower your bills. So I am urging you, if you got cable TV, cut it today. Call them up and say, cancel my cable TV. Get Roku. Roku's free. It gives you channels to watch that are awesome. And you don't need to be sitting on your butt. If you're sitting on your butt and not prepping, you're wrong. And somebody say, Dave, who makes you the judge of all this? I'm not the judge of all. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm begging you to drop any bills that you have that you don't need. That way you can get things paid for. Even if you can only, if you're a renter, pay for your car. Drop your cable, drop whatever. If you got a gym membership, get rid of it. There's a lot of things you can do without a gym membership. Now, if it's only like $10 a month, like some of them, keep it. But if you're spending a lot of money on the gym, get rid of that thing. You can run, you can walk, you can do all kinds of stuff outside. And I'd rather you doing things outside, working hard outside, than in the gym pumping weights. The reason is your body needs to know how it is to walk with a pack on. Your body needs to know how it is walking up hills. So you can do a lot of things that won't cost you nothing, that would be more beneficiary. If you have to bug out from work to your house, start walking that route. Even if someone's got to, pick you up halfway, start walking that route to get home. So much to tell you. I just pray that you're doing things. We owe it to our families. We owe it to our country. And be prepared to help others. That's the whole point. Do what you can for yourself. And if you can help others get going on the prepping thing, help them. That's what it used to be many years ago, 150 years ago. You had to help your neighbors or you both would not survive. Be it bad storms coming through, wildfires coming through, you had to help your neighbor get his crops in if the crops were threatened with whatever. You had to help him raise a barn. So, keep prepping. Don't get discouraged with the news. It's very discouraging to look at the news, all the things that are going on. Look local. Look at what can I do for myself? What can I do for my neighbors? What can I do for my community? Look for places where you can buy produce. Look for small little farms that are starting up, little grow operations, and support them. Yeah, it might cost you a few dollars more every month, but guess what? That might pay off later down the road, because if he has more customers, he can increase his amount of plants he's putting, increase his fields, increasing his livestock, increasing his sheep herd, and all that means is more resources in your area. So, if you're on the couch right now, there ain't no football games on, but baseball's going to start soon. Spend more time being prepared. I don't think you're going to regret it in 6 months and look back and say, dang, I planted all those tomatoes. I think you'll be saying, wow, tomatoes at the store are $5 a pound. I'm glad I got all I need right out there in my garden. Thanks for watching.